Game Day Sports. They're my partners and who I work with. One of the best Cowboy game day experiences. And if you want to come to Cowboy games, I have some coaches here. Coach Wade Gillette, who brought me to a free throw contest, drug me out of bed. I won that free throw contest as a 12-year-old in San Antonio. And my free throw average is probably about 40% now, but it was okay. I got my defensive back coach, Coach Mark Foreman, he's over there. Of course, you guys met Cornell Thompson. Coach Cornell Thompson is the brain trust of West Orange Stark football, and I think Coach Thomas Brooks is in the back somewhere. Coach, you can stand up, Coach Thomas Brooks. Yeah. Thank you. Well, you know, I woke up this morning, I normally write down some notes, and you know, this time I felt like talking about West Orange Stark football and my plight and how I got to where I am today. And I thought about one word, and I think if any of my Facebook friends or Instagram friends saw that one word, and the one word was foundation. You know, when you speak of West Orange Stark football, you speak of foundation. And I'll explain to you what that foundation means. But as a young kid, when the schools merged in 1977, the first class was 1978, I was 7 years old, 8 years old. And to go to that first West Orange Stark football game, the colors that they chose was blue and silver, and the helmet was silver. And I went to that first game, and from that day on, playing Little League football, I said, I'm going to wear one of those silver helmets one day. And that was my ultimate goal. I was only 40, 50 pounds, 60 pounds, playing Little League football, little running back. And ultimately, that's all I wanted to do. I didn't think about the Dallas. I was actually a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, but I didn't think about playing pro football, going to college. I wanted to go to college, but I was probably thinking I was going to go as a baseball player. But let me get back to that word foundation. The three things, the foundation of West Orange football would be here all day long. There's three things that I can touch on. One is mental toughness. That's one thing that Coach Thompson, Coach Danny Ray Hooks, when I went in that program in the 9th grade at 70 pounds, and Coach Thompson called me the weakling group, I was with the smallest group. I couldn't even lift a bar. I knew I couldn't even put weights on there. And we worked out in a locker room, which is under the stadium, with no air, 100 degrees. And I thought about putting that silver helmet on and didn't think that I would ever put that silver helmet on, being in that workout program. The summer workout programs are voluntary but strongly suggested, highly recommended, very monitored, and result driven, because when you showed up after the summer break and you wasn't in shape, you had to run some miles. You had to get it in. So that summer program and that program, that off-season program, if you don't make it through the off-season program, you don't make it. The off-season program at West Orange Stark was 10 times tougher than any program I went through at Texas A&M or with the Dallas Cowboys, trust me. Being on time, and I'll share this story with you. When the bell rang, we had 7 minutes to get to the locker room, fully padded and on the line. And we call it the blue line. You had to be on time, you had to be accountable, or you wasn't part of West Orange Stark football. I don't know how many coaches out there, or how many people put on a uniform before, but for linemen, that's pretty hard to put knee braces on, shoulder pads. The pads stink. They had a little smell to them because guys wouldn't unpad their pants. But we had 7 minutes to be on the football field, and you had to be out there. And you had to be accountable to your teammate to be there on that blue line. Adversity. The reason why I'm up here right now, really and truly, I probably wouldn't have been here, almost was out of football, and Coach Mark Foreman can speak for me, Coach Cornell Thompson can speak. 10th grade had House Bill 72. I have twin sisters, they're pretty smart, they're both engineers, I'm not as smart as them. But I wanted to try to keep up with them, so I was taking geometry, trig, one of them in the 10th grade. I made it 69. And I made that 69, I had to sit out for 6 weeks. Well, that's the year we were 5A, and we had a good run. We played Jack Yates that year and lost in the playoffs. So that year I had to sit out for 6 games, but that one game before I sat out, I was a little veer quarterback sitting on the bench. Coach Mark Foreman said, hey man, let's throw him out there at cornerback, let's see what he got. I was a quarterback. So I went out there and I said, this is it, this is all I got. I played the lights out, and I had a great game. You know, I didn't know where my future was gonna take me. I ended up playing varsity basketball that year, and we had spring practice. Coach Thompson looked me in the eye and said, listen, you either gonna play, you got a chance to put a silver helmet on next year, so you gotta figure it out. Do you want to play basketball? Do you want to play West Orange Stark football? So believe it or not, I went through spring practice and went to basketball practice. Because my ultimate goal, again, as a little kid, was to put that silver helmet on. That was that adversity. So one thing that helped me out, those are just the three things that was West Orange Stark football was about. And I think those deals, the fundamentals, the foundation, what that did, that allowed R.C. Slocum and Jackie Sherrill to come to West Orange Stark and talk to Danny Ray Hooks and Mark Foreman and talk to Cornell Thompson and say, hey, what's this kid about? He's a good kid, he works hard, he's fundamentally sound, he'll work in his system. He's a good foundation guy. I went to Texas A&M, got in there as a freshman, learned the system, studied the system. RC put me in there, I played my freshman year, 20 interceptions, all Southwest Conference 3 years. Got a chance to play pro ball. Here's a guy named Jimmy Johnson from Port Arthur, Texas. He comes in, I'm sure he talked to Coach Foreman and Coach Thompson. What about this guy? Is he fundamentally sound? Yes, he's fundamentally sound. Is he the best player you got? He might be, he might not be. I really don't think I was one of the best players to ever come through West Orange Stark. It's a lot of great players to come through there. I'm the first one to be honored for West Orange Stark, and I don't believe when we have conversations, shop talks, I think what I was one of the guys who bought into the system, bought into the fundamental things, the foundation of what West Orange Stark is all about, the way of life. And that's why I was able to go to Texas A&M, and I think Jimmy Johnson saw that. It was all a system, it was all a process. But I'd like to end my talk about my mom. I want to recognize my mom, because another life lesson I learned, I'll share this story. I shared it on the radio, a lot of people like to hear it. When I was about 12 years old, I was playing baseball. I was a pretty good baseball player, one of the best baseball players, I thought, in Orange. And we were playing one of the best teams. We were both undefeated. And we were about the fifth inning. And when you play Little League Baseball, you have that rotation where everybody has to play. So we got to that rotation where I was the guy who had to come out of the game in the fifth inning. Well, we come off the field, and I'm the second at bat. And we're 0-0, and I feel like I'm the one that's gonna knock in the winning run. Guy goes up, he strikes out or whatever happened. I walk to the batter's box, the coach stops me, and I'm like, what are you doing? He said, man, it's your time to rotate out. Well, I grab bats and I throw bats and I threw helmets and everything. My mom watched the game from left field. She always sat in her car in left field or sat in a lawn chair. So I see my mom walking across the field. Here she comes. I said, here's my mom, she's coming right now. She's about to get you. So instead of going around the grandstand, and Coach Thompson knows is at Stark Field and all the Orange coaches, she comes through the third base side. She calls timeout, she comes to the third base side. Oh, there she comes. She coming to get you. So she gets there. So the coach, being one of the better players, he tries to explain to her what had happened. She's like, you don't need to explain anything to me. She grabs me, and I've never been pinched like this before in my life. She pinches me behind my ear and walks me all the way across that field and said, you'll never play another game. You don't understand team sports and being a part of a team, you'll never, ever, ever play again. And she held me out that whole year. She's over there crying, I think. But that was an early life lesson, and that's one of the most valuable lessons that my mom taught, because so many parents want to go defend their kids and fight for their kids when they should be teaching them the right things to do. But anything, I want to thank you guys for being out. I want to congratulate the guys, Vishawn and Damian and all the other guys that were a part of this program, and thank you for having me. Thank you.